Welcome, everyone. It is officially ridiculousness going on right now. I don't even know what's happening. But hi, my name is Rachel. I am your host for Movies, Music, and Mayhem. If you know me from the Schmodown or from life, put a comment in. Introduce yourself to everybody else. Little housekeeping right off the bat. Just wanted to let you guys know I'm doing my shout out tonight for my patrons at $25 and over level, Jessica and Graham and oh my god, and Shug. You guys are the best. Absolutely love you guys. And then also just wanted to let you know that if you are a patron, this Sunday, like every last Sunday of the month, we have our Golden Day, which is where we just get to hang out and chat. That link will be sent out to everybody at about 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or Pacific Daylight Time, West Coast. So keep your eyes peeled for that. If you want to join, obviously the Patreon link is going to be in the description below. Please feel free and join. We have a blast. Also, I have lined up everybody for September. So the September schedule is as followed. We've got a lot of boys coming on. I think I'm going to bring a lot of girls in October. If there's somebody that you guys want me to bring in, like, please feel free, message me on Twitter. My DMs are open. Please be respectful. But I'll do whatever I can to get everybody on that everybody wants. So now, also, guys, just a heads up. My mom's in the comment section right now. We set up her YouTube officially, so now she can comment. So if everybody sees Mama Silvestrini in the chat, just give her a quick hi, hello. And now bringing on the dame to end all dames, the lady of the hour, because Lord knows I'm not. It is Miss Mollie. How you doing, baby?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so excited. It's been a weird day, I gotta say. Like, it's been kind of like grayish but hot, and I'm like, I don't understand what's going on right now.
Yeah, but, the weather just sucks everywhere, I think.
Yeah. Well, how are you guys doing? Because I know that there's that, like, those two massive hurricanes that are like swirling around in the Gulf right now and making landfall and just being insane. So you guys are all safe and
yeah, we're just getting a ton of rain and humidity, so it's just like it's just miserable outside.
Sounds awful. Like, I love me a good rainstorm, but like when it sticks to you and you're sweating at the same time, it's just.
We have to walk our dog like a lot, and so every time we walk out the door, it's like you're just walking into a steam room of someone else's sweat. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I remember living in Nashville and just being like, I have to go to work at like, I would go into work at like 6 o'clock in the morning when it was still like 90 degrees before it got to like 112. And it was still like, there's no reason to shower.
Yeah.
You step out of the shower and dry off in your AC, you put on your makeup and your clothes. And by the time you walk from the front door to your car, you're like sticky again.
Yeah. I take a lot of sink baths, just the washcloth, wipe everything down.
See, this is why you're a lady and I'm not, because I'm like, that's a horse bath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's no, like, I'm like, oh, sink bath. Oh, that's a much nicer way to put that. This is why I'm not asked on nicer shows. But you've been keeping busy. I mean, you had your nice little, well, not little, but a massive overbearing run in the Star Wars tournament earlier this season for the Schmodown, which I'm pretty sure regardless of who you were playing against, like, everybody was kind of just like, go Mollie, go Mollie, go Mollie.
Yeah, it was really fun. I wish I had made it further, and I really wish I had gotten to play Laura Kelly. I think that was a match that everybody wanted to see, and maybe we'll still see that happen one day. So
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it was a ton of fun.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was like, dude, like, Star Wars has just been so like male-centric dominated in the fandoms and also, you know, the movies. There's, you know, how many, not to put you on the spot, but like literally how many females do you see in the original trilogy? Like 4, maybe?
Yeah, and you know, Leia's the big one.
Yeah, there's Leia and then like that girl back there and that maybe female alien. Like,
all the dancers in Jabba's palace.
that are slaves and God knows what else he does to them. But yeah, it's one of those like, aw. we really get screwed in a galaxy far, far away. So seeing you two like just completely dominate and just literally go the distance, not to be a Disney file, but it was so amazing to watch. So we were all really, really proud, and we were all pushing for you. So I know I was. I mean, even when Sean's probably in the chat at this point, but even when he had it, because he played you, right?
No,
we were like trying to set up you guys playing, or were you on opposite sides? I can't remember, but I was like, I really want to see Sean play Mollie, but like, I really want Mollie to win. So it was like beyond faction lines.
Yeah, I remember. I still give him crap for this every time I remember it. But one of the questions he missed was a question that I was like actually hoping to get, and it was it was the
Hi, Jill.
where is Ben Quadraneros from, and it was the ton system. And every time that comes up in conversation, I'm like, man, I wish I had gotten that one.
Yeah. That's like it's one of those things where you're like, I just want to play every match so I can get those questions. Like anytime like Disney's asked about, or Kevin Smith, I'm like, why are you wasting my questions? Like these people don't know these answers. Like let me.
Yeah.
Like the Emperor's New Groove question about the trampoline. I was like, I literally say that quote all the time.
Man, I am learning that I know very little about regular movies, as I've been on the Certain Point of View show and we've been following the singles tournament. I'm like happy if I get more than like 2 or 3 points.
That's me watching Star Wars. like when we were still in the studio, and so, one of the questions was, what does Maz refer to Chewie as? I was like so happy. I was like, I know this one. It's her boyfriend. Like I literally was like clutching the arms of people next to me. I don't even remember, but it was like I was so proud of myself. Like I know this one.
That's awesome.
Not like a guess of like what color, because there's 4, but like I got so proud. I was like, I know this one. Like I've seen all of the movies, and I'm a big Star Wars fan, but like when you know, like the questions get so deep cut so early that I'm like, I don't understand this.
Yeah, man, studying for Star Wars is it's a task.
Well, it seems like it would be a little bit easier because you do have literally a built-in sparring partner in your husband. So like that must be just immensely. I mean, it's one of those things where like you want to study together, but you're in different factions.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that, but like also you were helping him study before you got into the league. So
yeah,
you have like a leg up on everybody.
I mean, I still kind of consider me to be his manager from the very beginning. I love Roxy, but she knows that I'm over here helping him for spectacular.
Well, I
we
mean,
gotta keep the belt in the family.
Oh God, yes. Yeah, that's one of those things that you're like, we built the case. It's just gonna stay here. Just depends on whose name is on the plaque, and we'll just swap it out as needed. But speaking of a Certain Point of View, how was that getting involved with those guys? Because I love them dearly.
Yes, it was like it happened fairly quickly after I was out of the Star Wars tournament, and I was like, okay, well, quarantine, this whole lockdown situation sucks. We work from home anyways, so like our jobs were fairly normal still, but I was like, we're not doing anything. I'm like really invested in the Schmodown still, even though I'm out of the tournament. And I was like, I want to keep talking about it, but like it wouldn't make sense for me to do it by myself because I just like I don't know enough about how to break down the matches and everything. So I was like, I did the ladies appreciation night with them.
Yeah, you did.
And I was like, oh, this is so great. And then everybody was like doing shows and streaming and stuff. And I was like, maybe he'll just ask to be on their show.
Can I come play?
And I was like, I mean, I could just come on and talk with you guys if that's cool. And they were like, yeah.
I mean, I don't think you understand the level of excitement that Jill had knowing that you were joining. Like, I legit got text messages from her that she was like, we're bringing in somebody new to the show. And I'm like, I'm really excited. Who is it? She's like, I can't tell you, but it's a girl. I'm so excited. It's a girl. And then she finally like broke down like an hour later. She's like, it's Mollie. Mollie's coming on the show. And I was like, yes.
It's been so nice. And like, it's so great having 2 guys and 2 girls. I don't know. I feel like it's really well balanced and we all just like immediately clicked.
Did you say you brought balance to the force?
I might say that I did.
Yeah. Fun game on point. Sorry, I'm terrible. I'm like a 45-year-old dad in disguise most days.
I love it.
My puns are bad. We do have a few Streamlab questions already that got sent in, so that's very nice, guys. If you have any questions for me and Mollie, the link is above Mollie. Send in questions will be read on air. Ferris Mathala just wanted to say hi. Hi, bub.
Hi, Ferris.
Such a sweet boy. I absolutely adore him. And then Movie Fanobi says, while lovely and talented, Rachel, Mollie is wonderful. Just let her hold your Lego builds over carpet. JK, did you destroy someone's Lego build?
That's referring to a recent. So we on the Star Wars Explained channel, we've been doing weekly Lego live streams where we just build Lego and chit chat. And I was building this like little, they're called brick heads, but it was like a little tiny baby Yoda. And I am obsessed with baby Yoda. So like I finished it, and normally I don't really build the Legos. I can, but like normally it's Alex building and me chatting. But I was like, I have to build baby Yoda. So I did. And then I went to like show it to the camera and immediately dropped it.
Oh no.
Luckily it didn't fall completely apart, but like a few pieces came off and it was just like a big ordeal. People made GIFs and posted them to Twitter and I was like, yep. We'll never live that one down.
That sounds awesome. He also says, I hope you have fun. I would love to see Mollie pose and fire off a red lightsaber. Spread joy, you two. Sincerely, Steve. Steve, you're the best. I adore you. So, yeah. Wait, fire off a red lightsaber. Well, I mean, you are, I'm not going to lie, your cosplay as Dark Rey is so fucking spot on. Like I remember seeing like the footage of that and I was like, what is going on right now? Like, when did we get Daisy Ridley to come out and hang? Like, that's insane. It looks so good. It's so spot on. Like,
thank you. That's my pride and joy cosplay, mostly because I did it before we even knew Dark Rey was a thing. I started that cosplay in 2016 and I was at the grocery store when the teaser came out that we first found out about Dark Rey being in the teaser, and Alex just texted me and was like, you need to watch this. And I was like in the middle of a Kroger and I was watching it and I see the Dark Rey and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that was me. I did that before anybody knew about it. And I was like, just freaking out.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm not allowed to watch videos in public anymore because my reactions are bigger than they should be. I'm also not as quiet as I think I am most days. Like a friend of mine is Native American, and we were drunk one night, and she said that if it were I to be Native American, my Indian voice would be, or my Native American name would be no inside voice. And it's stuck with me. I'm like, well, that scans. That's pretty accurate. But you guys are doing such great work on the channel, and I absolutely love it. You guys are, I mean, you know, I've been a guest with you guys, and it's always such a pleasure to come on with you guys, and everything's so balanced and wonderful and positive, which is something that I find is like incredibly refreshing. Sadly, that's refreshing.
Yeah, you'd think that it'd be easy to just stay positive and you know keep things light and fun, but yeah, it doesn't always work that way. but I think, just like I said, we clicked so well when we first started talking, and I think we're all just like very positive people, and we just want to lift everyone else up. So when it comes to like critiquing something, I don't want to say we're bad at it, but we're just like, whoever wins, it's gonna be great.
Well, I mean, it's not that it's like you guys just find the silver lining in everything. So it's like it's such a unique, and sadly, it's a unique perspective in this environment. So I absolutely love what you guys are doing. But aside from studying both for you and helping Alex study for Spectacular, what else have you guys been like watching movies that are a little outside of Star Wars, like discovering different shows that you're loving, because there's no time like the present to dive into 15 seasons of Supernatural if you want, like.
Yes. When Alex was doing the IG tournament, we watched a ton of IG movies, and that was really fun. We went back through and watched all the Marvel movies, and I hadn't seen a lot of them like more than once, so that was really fun. Otherwise, I'm a super big documentary nerd, and so like anytime there's like a true crime documentary, Netflix, HBO, like any of that stuff, I jump on that. And Alex is like, he's 50-50 on true crime stuff, and I'm over here like, the weirder the better. Like, tell me about your childhood traumas that never got resolved. Like, I just want it all. And he's like, this is uncomfortable to watch, and I'm like, yeah, it is.
What is it about true crime stuff that like it's just so compelling? And why is it that it's like 98% viewership from women? Like,
I don't know, it's so weird. And like, I know a bunch of people have like started YouTube channels to talk about all these true crime documentaries and stuff that have come out, and I'm like, then I'm just like eating all that stuff up, and it's like, it's taking over.
If you want another addiction in that vein, I have become aware of Bailey Sarian. Do you know who this woman is? I don't know what happened with the algorithm on Facebook or whatever, but her video got recommended, and she does murder mystery makeup Mondays. So like she puts on a full gorgeous face while she talks about like a different real life case every week. It is so addicting, and like on so many levels. Like there are times when I have to rewatch an episode because I was paying attention to the makeup and not the story. And then you like get to the end of the story and her face is all done. You're like, wait, what are you talking about again? And then you go back. I absolutely adore her. She's funny and quirky and stunningly gorgeous. And like, dude, those stories are terrifying.
That's amazing. That's like my two worlds collide, or two of my worlds colliding, two of my many worlds colliding. I love it.
Yeah, it is entrancing. Like I literally watched like 6 hours of it one day, like without even realizing it. I was like trying to do work on my laptop, and then I was just sitting there like this. Like, yeah, but she's great. But yeah, it's one of those things I love. I find it interesting that it's a very female fan base. But there's also like the podcasts that go into it. What was that one? My Favorite Murder? Is that the one?
That sounds familiar. There's like so many of them.
Yeah, it's like two women that just like sit down and like have a podcast and they talk about murder. And it's like, wow, this is kind of studying to like, not die one day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, Alex agrees. It's soothing for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like maybe more men like are just repressed and they don't want to like hear about other people's issues. And I'm like, yeah, tell me more about your fucked up childhood.
Right? It's like, oh, that happened? Well, that means he's going to go off and do this. It's like, yeah, we know.
It's like, okay, well, why did this person murder everybody? Oh, okay, well, he had daddy issues. Then yeah. He got locked in a Foot Locker and like left there for 3 days, and his grandfather like, we understand. Like, sorry, we took a really dark turn, guys, but like this is what happens when girls get together and talk about murder. Like, they get so excited, and I don't know why. Yeah. Maybe it's because we bring life into the world that it fascinates us on the other end of the spectrum of like, we give life and we just find death fascinating. I don't know what it is. Could be. Maybe. But moving on. Well, besides my weird documentary stuff, we just finished watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I super, super loved it. I had seen some episodes before when Alex watched it the first time, but I just was like, okay, I want to sit down. Like you said, now is the time to watch all the shows. And now I think we're gonna start Korra pretty soon because that just came on Netflix.
Yeah, I was just texting with Eric Barnes, Warfather, the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm just starting Korra," and he like gave me like a list of like 5 TV shows to watch, and I was like, "Oh God," I'm like, I know I have a match coming up, but like, it would be really nice to just like curl up in my bed for like 3 weeks and just binge all of these back to back to back. It just sounds amazing.
I was just watching Trinkets. I don't know if you've heard of that one on Netflix. It's really good. It's like it's a high school girl story, but it's way more mature than most of those types of shows on Netflix. And it's about this like group of girls who are like addicted to shoplifting and various other things. So it's like a pretty mature show. One of them's like a lesbian, and she's trying to figure out how to be a lesbian.
Yeah.
And they just came out with season 2, and it's so good.
See, I'm of the mind where like I don't like to start things when I don't know that there's going to be like an end that like the creators want to happen. So like I literally like I started Supernatural at the beginning of the 10th season, like when it first started to air, because I was like, okay, it's gonna be the last season. I'll binge 1 through 9, and then by the time I'm done with that, I'll have just enough time to catch up on 10 for the series finale. And then like an episode in, I was like, well, I'm in this for good. Like, this is my heart and soul. Here you go. And then like 3 episodes in, it got announced that it was being extended. And I've never been so angry or happy at the same time. I was like, mother, no, I don't want to. Like, yes, I want more story, but like, why do I have to watch it live now? So now they're literally like finishing season 15, filming right now in Vancouver. And I'm like, I like stopped at 12 because I was like, I'm just gonna wait until it's officially done. Like, I can't keep doing this. I can't wait for like episode to episode or season to season to know. But like, I love the fact that now that Netflix and like Amazon Prime and Hulu, they've become such an amazing production company for stuff that we love, and they're putting out solid material. Like, I just started what was it, Warrior Nuns? And I'm like, well, that's fascinating. Like, let's see a bunch of let's watch a bunch of celibate teenage girls like kick the crap out of demons. I'm in. Like, take my money, take my soul, take all of my free time.
Yeah, it's a never-ending spiral of TV shows. I watched Cursed, which was I think a Netflix show, and that was one that I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, and then it was over, and I was like, more, give me more.
Have you watched the new She-Ra?
No.
On Netflix? It is so good. It's done, so like you can watch all of it. Like, okay, I don't recommend shows that like haven't finished. But this one is phenomenal. Like I'm 36. I grew up with like He-Man and She-Ra, the other cartoons. But like when now Kevin Smith has his cartoon version of He-Man coming out soon. She-Ra is like, the artwork is amazing. It's got a really great story, and like they just handle everything so beautifully. It's such a great show. It makes my heart cry and happy all at the same time.
Yeah. Another show to add to the list.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Every time I talk to someone, they're like, you need to watch this show. I'm like, I don't want to, but now I have to.
Yeah, it's on the list.
Yeah, it's going on the never ending list. Yeah, see? Alex, have either of you seen Broadchurch or the U.S. Scream? No, I haven't, because I can't understand. Like, it needs to be done. As soon as it's done, I will start watching it. It's so much, guys. There's so much stuff to watch, and it's all so good. It's hard to keep track of.
I got Jake and Brian on POV. I got them into Battlestar. And we've watched a couple of episodes with them just like this over StreamYard, and I'm so excited for them to get to the end of season 3.
My best friend Jessica has been after me to like, we're very different in a lot of ways, but like she's like more of like a sci-fi like massive fan. Like her favorite movies are the worst sci-fi movies you could ever imagine. Like she genuinely loves the Sharknado movies.
Wow.
Like loves them. Like I took her to the like she was working at Comic-Con last year, and I like snagged her from her job, and I'm like, you're coming to this panel with me. And it was like the last Sharknado panel. She just sat there like cried. Like she loves those movies. So like she's the one who got me hooked on Doctor Who. Like literally I was sitting in her apartment, and she comes out and we're drinking wine, and she comes out, I'm like, Jess, it's time. And she was like, are you serious? We can start? Oh my God. Where do we start? Okay. Do you want to start at like the first Doctor? And like, I'm like, no. Let's just start at 9. She's like, okay. Oh my God. She's so excited. But she's been after me to start Battlestar. And I'm just like, all right, I'll start it soon.
Yeah. It's so good.
Ferris Mathala put in a stream live. He said, wait, Molly, how many Legos do y'all own? And which is your favorite that's not Baby Yoda?
Well, I think the Baby Yoda one's still my favorite, but we have more Lego sets than I can count, I think. We're like literally running out of spaces to put them. But I think my favorite one that we have is there's like a BB-8 Lego, and you can move his head around, and you can like make him look in all these different directions, and his little blue flame lighter pops in and out. Like I like Lego sets that move and are cute. And we also have a bunch of like big giant ships that Alex tells me I'm not allowed to touch.
Well, I mean, if you dropped Baby Yoda, I wouldn't want you touching those either. Although I do have to say, I love the fact that there are people just adamantly against calling Baby Yoda the child. And they're like, no. I know it's not Baby Yoda, but you're Baby Yoda.
Yeah. And then there's people like vice versa. They're like, no, it's the child because Jon Favreau said so. I'm like, it's Baby Yoda until they give him a name. And even then, like, no one's going to call him anything but Baby Yoda.
I am so dying to hear the name of Baby Yoda. Like, I want it to be something like Clark.
Yeah. I was saying
like,
it should be like Kevin or something.
Or George. Just, show a little respect.
Yeah.
They could just call him G. It'd be so cute. They call him Lil G. I'm in. Right? It's so adorable. He's so tiny.
Yeah. We have so many other Baby Yoda things pre-ordered that I've forgotten that we've even pre-ordered them. Pretty soon, all of this will be Baby Yoda.
But then it's like Christmas when they show up because you're like, oh my God, it's a gift. I forgot this was coming.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the best. When you forget that something's on back order and you're like, oh, I love past me.
We pre-ordered one of the ones from Sideshow Collectibles that's like, it's a life-size, like super, super detailed Baby Yoda. And we talked about when it arrives, like taking pictures with it and putting out baby announcements to like our friends. But then I was like, Alex's parents would murder us if we put out baby announcements, and it was Baby Yoda.
and it was a plush. Yeah, I think my mom's in the chat. She can agree. She would be very upset if I tried to do that. Be like, look, I have a son. She's like, no.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a dog and be like, my fur baby.
Right.
But yeah, that's you two should do that. That's funny to me.
We probably still will.
Well, yeah. I mean, just swaddled and all you see are like the big black eyes and like the tops of the furry green ears. That's adorable. Have you guys been like listening to music while you're hanging out? Like, I don't know a lot about your musical taste. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, listen to a lot of Spotify, mostly if we're driving, which we don't do that very often anymore, or if we're working out, or I put music on when I put makeup on, unless I'm like listening to a podcast or something, but otherwise it's right now it's a lot of Lady Gaga. I'm a big Lady Gaga fan. I'd say Lady Gaga and Michael Jackson are my two big ones.
Oh my gosh.
Which I don't know, like they could be very different and very similar in different ways, but
absolutely. There was a photo that I'm gonna pull it up, but I just sent Alex Shashak this picture last night, well, early this morning, that she didn't see. So it's Michael. People get so creative, and I just don't understand that level of creativity. Because it's just like it doesn't exist in my brain. I'm very much like oh, you need a spreadsheet? Done. Like, oh, you created that piece of art? I don't understand that. Or like just people being like, like Mark Ellis, just like tip of the tongue, just like witty, funny. I'm like, it takes me 10 minutes to reply to people on Twitter because my brain just does not work like that. It's just one of those things I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
It sounds like Alex. He has this thing where if he has to reply to someone, a text message, Twitter, whatever it is, he'll like sit there and like think really hard about what he's gonna say, even if it's like a little sentence. And I'm like, just type it. Just say what you want to say. And he's like, I'm thinking. He'll type it out. It'll backspace and it'll type it again. And I'm like, what? This is like. Someone asked you what you ate today.
Because if it's facts like that, I don't have a problem responding. But like, there's been a lot of controversy lately with some Schmodown fans, and some issues have popped up where like I just turn into anger from inside out, and I just like I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna privately blow my top. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna choose my words very carefully.
Oh yeah,
because I don't want to get fired.
Being in the Star Wars fandom, I know a lot about that. I've blocked a lot of people, read a lot of shitty comments, a lot of hate towards me and Alex for,
Which
I don't know why.
Insane to me. Like how do you like? I don't understand.
It's like, I don't know. Like at one point, when with the channel, like. It clicked much earlier for me than it did for him. He still struggles with like getting really bothered by like people being shitty online. And at one point it just clicked for me and I was like, I just ignore it. Like it doesn't even really come on my radar anymore.
Yeah, you have to develop that thick skin. But so I found this picture and I love it so much. Like you can hear it in your head, and it just I don't know what it is, but it just made me so happy.
That is hilarious.
But it's just one of those things. So okay, so you like very like poppy dance music. Do you ever like get down to like hardcore metal just to like let it out?
Yeah, I have a Spotify playlist that's just titled "Fuck," and I put it on when I'm angry about stuff. Let me see what's on there.
Oh my god, yes.
Here we go. A bunch of Linkin Park. I was a big Linkin Park nerd growing up.
Well, wait, Molly, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? You're like in your early 30s, right?
I'm 33.
Like, yeah. So like we grew up right around the same time. So like, you were a little bit younger than I was when Meteora came out, and like that was the album, I think. And I think that was like the perfect time for that to come out, because literally our generation still to this day will throw that album on, and I don't care who you are. If you are like 29 to like 40, you will scream those lyrics out of a car. Like I've literally stopped I was at a stoplight with my windows down, blasting Linkin Park, and like there's a car on either side of me, and they stopped their music, rolled their windows down, and we just had to sing along at a red light. Like that's just what you fucking do. It's just I used to refer to it as group therapy.
Yes,
like
I remember. I remember in high school, my first semester, freshman year of high school, I went to a different high school than I did for all the rest of my years in high school. And the place that I went was like, it was like a shithole of a school. And I like lied about my address to get into this other high school. Long story. But I just remember like, I was such a bad student. I would just like put my headphones in, listen to Linkin Park, and like put my hoodie over my head and just like lay my head down. And like I still got pretty good grades, but like, and like I guess that's why the teachers kind of just left me alone. But I was just like, being emo over here, just like listening to like Linkin Park. And
I was about to ask, were you just an angry emo girl in high school? Because I would love to see those like black eyeliner like photos. Linkin Park.
I had like a streak of purple hair. I had a purple hair phase.
Release the photos. That sounds amazing.
Just like Hot Topic, like giant like wide leg jeans with like chains on them and stuff.
Ginkgos? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With like Skechers underneath, because like you need those 3 inches of like brace underneath you so your Ginkgos can just fray just enough to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the days when you used to like I remember back in the day when Hot Topic first came out and we would go to the mall and my mom would be like, "You're not going in there." And I was like this tiny little blonde-haired child, and she's like, "Mm-mm." And I'm like, "But they're playing good music." She's like, "Mm-mm."
Yep. Man, yeah, that was like one of those places in the mall where it's like, well, yeah, we're definitely going there. We're definitely going to Spencer's. Like, just those are the 2 places that we're going. And I'm gonna buy some random pins to put on my backpack and
some bracelets.
Yep, whatever I can afford.
With plastic studs.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Yep. Good times, man.
And now they sell like, not to put them down because they are actually friends of mine, but now they play like All Time Low and Fall Out Boy, when before they would play like Mastodon and Kate Breed, and you were like, I can't keep getting yelled at like this.
I will say for music, like my music taste growing up, I feel like was more mature than all my friends because my sister is 10 years older than I am. And so she, at a very young age, she got me into the Beatles and Michael Jackson. And then also, like, I remember pretty early on, I was listening to Tool and A Perfect Circle and like stuff like that. And she was just getting me into all these bands that my friends were like, what are you listening to?
And then 3 years later, they're like everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. God, do you remember what your favorite music video on MTV was in that era growing up? Because like there were some really good ones.
There were. I remember I used to tape them off of the TV, and like I had like a VHS of music videos that I just like would watch late at night. I remember the Lady Marmalade one was a big one. That was a great music video. But man, there's so many, and I used to watch them all the time, and now I like can't think of.
I think one of my favorites of all time was Scream with Janet and Michael Jackson. Like it was just so ahead of its time. Also, like I just wanted to be Janet Jackson when I was younger. Like she was stunningly gorgeous, incredibly talented, and the woman could dance like nobody's business and like didn't have like, well, now knowing now, that's a lie, but she didn't at the time. I didn't think she had like the psychological damage that Michael had, but you know, Joe put them through the ringer. Yes, dude, Evanescence had some great Wake Me Up Inside. Oh my God. Guns N' Roses. Wait, where is it? Guns N' Roses for sure. Dude, they had the longest music video, I think, in history with November Rain, which was also epic. Like, how do you not love a music video that has a helicopter circling footage of Slash playing on top of a casket? Like, I don't understand. Garbage was so good. Oh my God, Criminal by oh my God, what's her name? Fiona Apple.
Ooh, yep.
That is one of my like, I put that on and Poe. Those are like my angry girl like playlists. Yes, you guys. I love this. You guys are the best. Dude, Rhythm Nation 1814 was so good. That entire like just Janet. Just all of Janet. Just go back and listen to Janet. All of her music videos were so good, and just the songs were fantastic. What was your first concert?
Oh man, I didn't go to a concert until I was much older. Trying to think what my first one was. It's probably, man, I can't remember if I went to something before this, but it's so funny. It's Backstreet Boys, I think, and it was there was like a radio station that was doing like a big group concert, like where a bunch of different people were playing. I believe this was high school, maybe even college. I don't know. It was a long time before I went to a concert. I don't know why.
Wait, are we doing it? Are you guys raiding me? Oh my God. Guys.
YouTube raid.
You guys are the best. This is the first raid I've ever had, by the way. This is awesome. I love it. Dude, yeah, there was something magical about the early 2000s and the boy bands. Like,
oh yeah.
It was, I remember never being judged for listening to boy bands. I was judged for which boy band. Because, I mean, it got brought up on SEN, the whole BSB versus NSYNC battle, which is, I think, really funny because it just led to, like, crazy skyrocketing sales for both bands that, like... I've literally gone to Kevin's house in Malibu before he sold it when I first moved down here and in like my early 20s. And I just remembered asking him about that whole era and like, you know, like the Versus time. And he goes, yeah, we used to like hang out together and just like laugh at how much money we were making. And I was like, I mean, to be fair, I would have too, but like these stupid girls. Like literally, I remember going and like seeing, you know, girls who already had all of the albums would just go and buy like 10 copies just to like help out sales. And I'm like, that's insane to me.
I wouldn't go that far.
Right? But, I'm like, that's a little.
And like I liked both, like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. I think I was maybe tipping more towards NSYNC, but yeah, I didn't really like have an argument there.
Yeah,
just like.
I remember at cheer camp one year we would always do a talent show, and so I think it was my junior year. My girlfriends and I got together and we dressed up and did the dance to Bye Bye Bye, but we dressed up like in drag. So like we had our tearaway sweatpants and like white wife beaters and like slicked our hair back and like put on fake, like we used like mascara to put on facial hair. It was hilarious. And I am so thankful that video phones did not exist back then because, oh dear God, the amount of blackmail that my friends could submit on me is just insane.
That's amazing.
But like I still to this day remember the Bye 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 dance. Like if I'm drunk at a bar and that thing comes on, like back the fuck up. I will make the dance circle and do the entire thing full out. Yep. It's really funny.
We do karaoke all the time. Not anytime recently, but like anytime one of our friends had like a birthday or something, we're like, let's go do karaoke. And at some point in the night, Bye 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 ends up on there, and like I'll just like push everyone out of the way and just start doing the dance. Even if I am like super drunk and I've forgotten half the dance, I'm just doing a dance that I'm like, this is it. I'm nailing it right now.
Dude, it's 90% attitude, 20% presentability. Like that's all it is. Oh my God, Jill, I love you so much. The only time I ever cried meeting a celebrity was meeting AJ from the Backstreet Boys when I worked at Disney. They did a lot of stuff with Disney. I love that Disney was like equal, like they were very like equal opportunity with both Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. It's on the block, dude. I don't even want to.
That was
do not get me started. I had the biggest crush on Jordan. My sister was a big Joey fan. Like, we had everything.
I was like just, I don't know, maybe a year or two away from missing the New Kids on the Block stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, they were like on their tail end. Like they were just hitting their peak and like coming off the other side, like right when it was about my time. And then yeah, you probably just completely missed it. You're like, oh no, I know their songs. But honestly, if you get a chance, buy their best hits album. It is so fucking good. Like it's got Please Don't Go Girl. Like, how do you not love that? Like, you can't not like scream that song out. It's so much fun.
I mean, now's the perfect time to get into something like that. Just go way back.
100%. Alex Shawshek says, when I was in 4th or 5th grade, I sang and danced to Sir Mix-a-Lot's Baby Got Back at the school talent show. My teacher was mortified. That is one of my personal anthems. It's that and Baby Got Back by was it Baby? Oh no, yeah. So Baby Got Back and what's the song by Queen? Fat Girls Make the World Go Round or whatever. Like legit, as soon as that comes on, I'm like, no, but like if I see a skinny girl singing along that song, I'm like, you'd shut up. Like this is not your song. Like you don't even have an ass. You have a lower back and back of thighs. Like stop singing this like it's your national anthem. Like, not, it is not written for you.
I remember this was like I think I was in middle school when it came out, but Fantasy by Ludacris. That was one of my favorite songs, and I still to this day know every single word to it, and will sing it anytime it comes on. But like I remember like being sitting at the back of the bus, like someone would have like a little portable
Discman.
Yeah, something like that, but like that had speakers, and they put it on, and I was just like spitting out all the lyrics, and people were like, "Who is this ginger kid singing Ludacris?"
There's something about like early 2000s hip hop that like I don't know what it is, but white girls fucking will go to town with that. Like, oh my god, you give me a Shaggy song or Ludacris,
Ja Rule.
Yes. Oh my god, Ja Rule. that's actually one of the stations that I've been listening to on Spotify for like the last like 3 or 4 weeks, and it's just like early 2000s hip hop, and I'm like, how, like, dude, Missy Elliott she's so good. Yes, sorry, thank you. Fat Bottom Girls.
Fat Bottom Girls, yes. Love it. Oh yeah, I bought like so many of Missy Elliott's albums. I think I had all of them. Even when like she kind of started to not be as popular, I was still listening to her albums and being like, you guys, this stuff is gold.
It's so good. And like, tell me you don't still know every single word to the Slim Shady LP.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I actually saw some like 23 or 24-year-old like boy try and do karaoke to the real Slim Shady. And like, it was real sad because he was like trying to act like he was trying to be Eminem back in like early 2000s. And we were all like, it was just a table of like 30-year-olds. And we were just sitting there like, you have no idea. Like, stop disrespect. And he would like drop lyrics, and we would just pick it up at like as a table, just sing the song with him. It was a great bonding experience.
I remember a day that I was listening to that album, and like my parents like never really cared what I listened to. They were just like, you listen to whatever you want. It's whatever. Mostly because my sister, like, she got me into Lords of Acid, which is like a pretty bizarre, like trippy, weird, like sex band. When I was like fairly young, and I was like, this is great. But then I remember one time my mom walked in when like one of the songs was playing from that album, and she was like, what is this about? What are you listening to? And I was like, it's Eminem. And she was like the candy? And I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, okay, I don't know.
Okay, I don't want to throw Mama Silvestrini under the bus, but my very first concert was supposed to be Salt and Peppa opening for R. Kelly.
Oh.
It was I was 8, my older sister was 10, and she got us tickets just for the two of us. Children. Going to this show. Granted, I will say this. It was at so I grew up in Northern California, and there's Paramount's Great America is it's a theme park. It's actually where they shot all of the amusement park scenes for Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Nice.
And it has an amphitheater inside it called the Redwood Amphitheater, and they would have a ton of concerts and like cheer competitions and stuff there. Like, it was a massive stage, great seating. It was so much fun. So it's one of those things that's like, yeah, I can understand you buying tickets for like kids for like a different type of show, but like the show got rained out, and that's when my mom started really paying attention to like the MTV like music videos, and she was like, no. And we're like, but no, we were so angry. And now looking back, I'm like, no, that was the right call. That was the best parenting ever.
Yeah.
But even though I'm still sad I never got to see Salt and Pepper, because Very Necessary is an album that I hold very near and dear to my heart, because I still know every lyric to every song on that album.
Yes.
30, almost 30 years later, it's fine. Yes, dude. No Diggity by Blackstreet, which has a really great message too. It's all about safe sex.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a great song.
Yeah. A lot of those songs had good messages, and then a lot of them had really terrible ones, and we were just, little kids singing along. Didn't know any different.
Yeah. Yeah, when you sing Smack My Bitch Up by Prodigy, it's probably not the thing you want to hear come out of your, 9-year-old's mouth.
That's another really fantastic music video with a great twist, too.
Yeah. Do you remember all of the Korn, all of Korn's music videos back in, the late 90s, early 2000s? So beautifully animated. That is artwork that I am sad is missing these days. I know a lot of bands still, put out music videos, but they're really hard to find online, and they're still you have to find the right ones, and then you get addicted to then you start having favorites on music video directors, and I'm like, no, I need to remember actual directors, film directors. Stop.
Every New Year's for the past 7, maybe 8 years, we throw a big giant party, and I make a music video playlist, and I curate it to be okay, beginning of the night, people are just now getting here. It's just some more chill stuff, and then leading up to midnight, it's leading you into the super dance pop stuff, and then when it gets to be 2, 3 a.m., I put some really fucking weird shit in there. And people are drunk and they're like, what is this?
You throw in that one song that everybody loves, and then it goes back to being weird, and people are like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
They're like, good, get out of my house. I just want to bring this up, guys. Mom, it's fine. It was the early 90s. Not a lot of people knew what was going on. It's totally fine. I love you so much.
Yeah.
Although my mom did take me to my very first concert, official concert. She and I went and saw Billy Joel and Elton John face to face when I was 14 years old.
Oh.
For free. Parking was $15, and we missed the first 10 minutes because they were tickets given to us by our neighbor, and it was the most amazing thing ever. It was so much fun. I've also taken her. I took her to Warped Tour the first year that I was on, and took her on stage to see Coheed and Cambria, and it was so cute watching her watch the crowd react. She was like, "I understand why you like this place now," and I'm like,
"Oh, that's so cool."
And then we also went and saw Willie Nelson for I took her to go see Willie Nelson for a Christmas show one year, and that was unbelievable. Guys, if you have a chance to see Willie Nelson live before he passes, please do. He is amazing.
That's awesome. I would love to see Elton John.
Wow. It was legit. I was 14 years old, and as soon as that show ended, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with my life. I turned to her on the way home, and I was like, I want to work in this industry. I need to work in live events, and I toured with punk and metal and all those types of shows for 10 years. And then I, segued onto Broadway, and it's just live entertainment is Cam, she is adopting you. There's this amazing love affair between Camshaft and my mom. My mom watches all of my shows, or she'll listen to them while she's cooking or whatever. And she provides me with show notes. It's the cutest. She'll either call me immediately after the show, or we'll talk later, and she'll be like, so I had a few questions. What was this movie you were referencing? What is this music? See?
Aww, love it.
And we literally talked earlier today, because we hadn't talked since last week, and she was like, Camshaft mentioned something about moving. Did she move again? And I'm like, I don't know. I think so. So my mom now has a fourth daughter in Camshaft. So Aww. Welcome to the family, Cam.
My mom, she has YouTube set up on her little Roku, and I got her subscribed to our channel and like a couple other random ones because she was like, I'm only gonna watch this for you guys. And I was like, okay, well, here's some other stuff that you might like. But she'll be like, I watched you guys on your stream and I don't know anything about what you're talking about with Star Wars. And like I got her set up with Disney Plus when that happened, and she like rewatched all the movies. She watched Mandalorian. She was like, those new Star Wars are pretty good. But I'm like, what do you think about Kylo Ren? And she's like, who's that?
Yeah. He's the emo boy that you didn't want me to date when I was 14.
But yeah, she's like, I watch your guys' stuff, but I don't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to get a lot of that, and now like because like as soon as because like my mom didn't have a laptop until COVID hit, so like now we went through the whole painstaking process of like figuring out how to connect her laptop to the computer because she has Wi-Fi because of working from home, and we're trying to explain all this, and now she's got Disney Plus and she's super excited about it. We're like slowly but surely like going through the steps of like, okay, so when you want to watch this is what it is, and this like, yes, you want to save yes, you want to save the logins. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I love my mom, but she is not gonna compete. Although she did get to come to the studio a few times, and as a lot of people have witnessed, I think that Mark Ellis is probably going to be my stepfather at some point because
Aww.
he has a deep love for my mom, which, I mean, granted, why wouldn't you? But like, it's just this huge joke between us now. And she comes into the studio, and like, I was sitting at like, I got us like, because you've been into the studio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because for some reason I'm like, yeah, Alex has only done live events. But like, there's that seating off to the side, and so I got in early and like saved our seats because I was like, I want my mom to have like a good view, even though she like spent 90% of the time like cross stitching. It was the cutest thing. But I like between matches, I like got up and went to the bathroom, and I come back, and Andrew Guy is sitting in my seat, and he is just. I mean, he's the nicest man. Like, he's just so sweet and charming. And like, he's also like one of the least offensive things to look at in the entire world. And my mom is sitting there, and all I see is the back of Andrew. And then I like walk around, and my mom is like blushing like a 16-year-old at her first cotillion, and just like so enamored. She's got those Bambi eyes. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, 100%. And I'm like, do you mind? And he's like, just sitting here talking to your mom. And I'm like, can you please stop flirting with my mother? Like, he's like, no. And I'm like, all right, fine. Just treat her right. And I'm not calling you dad.
You're not my real dad.
Yeah, you're not my real dad. You can't tell me what to do. But no, everybody loves my mom, and she's just such a bundle of joy. But she's also like a huge reason of like why I love a lot of things that I love. Like, she used to take us all down. I'm one of 3 daughters, and she would take us down to Disneyland before harnesses and Adderall.
That's like, a brave woman. That's a brave woman.
And we were like first in, last out. Like, we were there like 24 hours. Like, it was nuts.
Yes.
Yeah, they're the best. Aww. You're the best. You guys are the best. Okay, guys, does anybody have any Streamlabs? Because I know we got to get Molly going, and we've got like another half hour with her, maybe, because she's she's East Coast, and she has an actual life.
I've barely sipped on my wine, so we're good.
I know, right? Oh, Alex sent in a Streamlab and says, what are your favorite TV theme songs, any genre or time period? I still randomly get cravings to listen to the Sailor Moon theme song, LOL.
Oh, I was still am a huge Sailor Moon fan. I have all the Sailor Moon Funko Pops, but I don't have them displayed yet. I'm running out of room. Love the Sailor Moon music. It brings me back. TV show theme songs. I mean, the Buffy theme song always comes to mind. I was always like, if I ever compete in the Schmodown, that will be my music. And then when I got to the point where I was competing, like, we had to use the royalty-free stuff.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh, bummer. But the band, I can't remember the name of the band, but the band that did the Buffy song, I've seen them perform it a couple of times because they come to Dragon Con, which is in Atlanta every year. And it's just like, my heart. I love it so much.
Yeah. What is it? Ryan Kramer says, coming soon, Sailor Moon Explained featuring Mollie Damon. I mean, don't say it. It'll happen. She has enough to do during the day.
Me and my friends like wrote our own Sailor Moon movie, like just on like pencil and paper. We wrote out like an entire script, and then we were like, we're gonna make this movie one day for sure. But we would just like perform the scenes at the pool when we were all hanging out, and just we had big dreams. Maybe one day.
God, don't you miss that like creativity of youth and just like hope? It's so nice.
I miss being hopeful.
Yeah, I know, right? I think when I think soundtrack, I think of like something with words, and so like I think one of my favorites is the Gummy Bear theme song from back in the Disney days, because like, dude, dashing and daring, courageous and caring, like, yes, I want to be a gummy bear and bounce on my ass, like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I had a friend who compiled an entire mix CD, because this was, I think it was like my 20th birthday. And as a birthday gift, he literally made me a mixtape of like all of my favorite theme songs. And it's like Gummy Bears and Care Bears, Inspector Gadget, everything from like that late 80s, early 90s. And it was just like, oh, God, I got to find it again, because it's like the best. Yes, dude, the Doctor Who theme. Every time somebody makes that joke about like, if you want to find the nerds, just play that super loud and you will just...
You'll see people like, what's happening?
People will prairie dog like crazy and be like, where is he? Where is she? Like, I got this.
Yeah. I know the Gummy Bear song is one of Alex's favorites too.
It's so good. It's also such a great show. I have it on DVD. Whatever.
That's awesome.
It should. I haven't even checked. Is it on Disney Plus? Because it should. It was a Disney.
It might be, because like it came up in conversation shortly after we got Disney Plus, and then Alex had the theme song stuck in his head for a few days afterwards. So it might be. I don't know.
I mean, there's nothing better than walking around like a grocery store and being like, gummy bears.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Sorry, I literally cannot sing. That's why I sold merchandise, guys. Don't sing. Everybody keeps asking me, they're like, oh, come on our karaoke nights. And I'm like, no. Let's not
I know.
do that.
I love singing at karaoke. I am not great at it, but yeah, give me 2 drinks and yeah, I can sing.
Yeah, I'm the equivalent at karaoke what Cameron Diaz was in My Best Friend's Wedding, but without being that hot, which makes it less acceptable. So it's one of those like, oh, she's trying so hard. But I will put on a fucking show.
That's the best part.
Well, I mean, we went and did karaoke in New York in August when we did the live event. But it was after the Team Action did a live show at the comedy place that Mark Ellis was doing his the following night. But it was also it was somebody's birthday that night. I don't think it was Janine's that night, but like we all went out to karaoke. Somehow I ended up with a mic in my hand. Oh, I was doing backup vocals for Janine because that's all I'm good for. But I was also drunk. And nobody took the mic from me, so I started emceeing the rest of the night. And I was like, next up, we've got Chad singing whatever from Survivor. And like, it was ridiculous. I don't know why people let me hold on to it, because I was also forcing myself on them as their backup singers. It was not good, but I literally held on to the mic for like 3 hours. It's one of those like, please don't give me the mic because you'll never get it back.
Yeah.
Yes, dude, Tailspin theme song, amazing. Yeah,
so many good ones.
Any of those early 90s Disney movies or Disney shows have the best soundtracks. It's so much fun. I mean, Phineas and Ferb, probably one of the greatest theme songs of all time. It's just I mean, were I to ever have children, knock on wood, not going to happen. I would want them to be Phineas and Ferb because I want boys and I want them to be weird and I want them to be creative, and that's all I want in life.
Ooh, the Fraggle Rock just popped into my head. The Fraggle Rock song, that was a big one for me.
Dance cares away, worries for another day. Let the music play down a Fraggle Rock. I don't know what they've been doing. Apparently, they've like rebooted that, and I'm like, I don't want to see a reboot version because unless you're using like the actual puppets from Jim Henson and you have Doc and Sprocket, I don't want to talk to you. Like,
yeah.
Like, that's not going to happen.
Some things just don't need to be rebooted.
Right? What's your least favorite reboot?
Ooh. Well, there's been talks of a reboot of Buffy, but they're like, oh, it's not really a reboot. It's going to be like in the same universe. But I'm just like, no, just please don't.
I mean, I think they could do something really interesting if they found like this generation's Slayer, along with like, and seeing how like current technology helps out with that. Like, I think that would be really interesting. But like, yeah, dude, don't try and like, she better not be in Sunnydale.
Yeah, just make it different enough to where it feels like its own thing.
Yeah.
I can't think of any reboots that I'm like disgusted by, but I'm sure there's one out there that I'm forgetting.
Mickey's Clubhouse.
That got rebooted?
Yeah, it's real sad. I also have a lot of like very young nieces and nephews, and by nieces and nephews I mean like my friends' children that I'm raising an army of nieces and nephews. I haven't made this clear. All of my friends' nieces and nephews, I'm like, so you're gonna take care of me when I get old, and like if I need to, like, this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna train you for the zombie apocalypse. You're gonna be on my team. This is what's happening.
That's honestly the best thing. I mean, to be the cool aunt. I mean, nothing's better than that.
Oh yeah, no, my oldest niece is 19. Oh god, she turns 20. Oh my god, she's turning 20 in October. Oh, that just hurt. Mom, I'm so sorry. Dylan's turning 20. That's an awful realization. But she's amazing and so sweet. But I also was working Warped Tour when she was 8, and that was her very first concert, and she got to go backstage and like she hung out with Bad Religion and like got a story read to her because they're all like our dad's age, so like they saw her and they're like grandbaby, and so they like had like their grandkids would visit them on tour, so they always had like books and stuff, so like they gave her some books and some coloring and stuff, and she got to go backstage and meet all these amazing rock stars. And then a friend of mine was working she was a promoter or something on the Justin Bieber tour, and like my niece was 12 years old and like her heart belonged to Justin Bieber, so like I got her really great tickets. And then she got to visit my friend who was doing a promotion for like a makeup line, and like just gave her like bags upon bags of makeup because it was like towards the end of the tour. And she's like, I hope you don't mind. I'm like, well, she's 12, so she won't use it, but my sister loves you for this. But yeah, dude, my nieces and nephews have very much gotten perks from being related to me.
I have a few friends that have like small children, and I'm just like waiting patiently for the day where they're like, okay, it's time to watch Star Wars, and I'm like, yes, but also like when they're old enough to watch other cool stuff, not just Star Wars.
I mean, it's never too early to start Star Wars.
Yeah, well,
I'm just saying, like, just start giving them, give them like the soundtracks and have them listen to the soundtracks now and just play it in the background while they're doing their Zoom school. It'll be fine. That's
a good idea, actually.
Oh, thank God, Mom. Yeah, she's going to be 19. Okay, great. Perfect. That means I have 2 years or another year and a half until my 20th reunion, because she was born when I was a senior in high school. Oh, God. Where does time go? I don't understand.
I went to my 10-year reunion, and I was actually really excited to go because I was like, I look really good still, and I'm excited to see what everyone else looks like. And I mean, I didn't get picked on really much in high school, but like I had some enemies, and I just was like, yeah, I just want to see how shitty other people's lives are at this point.
Oh, yeah, I think high school reunions are gonna go away. I don't think that they're gonna be a thing much longer, just because like Facebook and like LinkedIn exist, and it's like you can keep track of everybody online and digitally. Like you don't have to come back to where you went to high school and like relive all those traumatic moments. You can just stalk people from a distance and it's fine. But I didn't get to go to my 10-year reunion. I was very sad about it because at the time I was on tour with Beauty and the Beast, and I was like dying to go to be like, yeah, my life is awesome.
Yeah, look at what I do.
I work for Disney and have no college debt. What the fuck do you do? Oh, you're still paying off Sally Mae? Oh, sucks.
Oh.
Yeah. But I didn't get to do that. We had like an unofficial 15-year reunion. It was actually really funny because I was back in LA for something, and there was a bunch of people that I graduated with that still lived here. And so I like posted, I was like, yeah, this is supposed to be the summer of our 15-year reunion, and I'm just going to go to Disneyland. And like a bunch of people that I went to high school with like saw my post and was like, oh, I'll meet you there. And we had like 30 people like unofficially do like a little mini reunion in LA at Disneyland on like a day and a half notice. It was the coolest thing, and it was really fun to see people. And I don't think anybody took pictures because we were all like, ugh. Like some people had like their kids in tow, and I was like, sucker.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, Disneyland is my happy place. I'm not bringing. That's fine. I'm not gonna be at the mercy of a sugared out 5-year-old.
I can't imagine taking kids to any theme park and being responsible for them. Just like,
Mom, do you want to chime in? Do you want me to send you the link and you can tell us how you did it? Because I do not know how you did it.
I remember like we went to Six Flags a ton when I was growing up, and like my mom or whoever's parents were taking us, they would just like take us, drop us off, and be like, we'll be back later. Yeah. Like they would never go with us because we were monsters.
Well, our parents would do that for Great America because it was like a theme park, and like there really wasn't anywhere else to go in that area back then. Now there's like you walk like 3 blocks down the street and there's like a mini mall right there and like movie theaters and shit. But like when we did Disneyland, like I you know what I think the way that my mom survived was the fact that in Disneyland there's Tom Sawyer Island, and you can take a raft out to Tom Sawyer Island, and it's very like kid friendly. Like back in the day, I don't know if it's true now, but like there were just like you could crawl through like the whole, like there were like tunnels underneath the shack that was built, and like you could like climb up and like jump out the windows and like climb trees and stuff. And so it was one of those things that I have very vivid memories of like my mom just being like, I will meet you back here in 3 hours.
Yeah. Yep.
And like I don't know how she did it or why she did it, because like there was no booze back then. So it's not like she could go off and like grab a glass of wine or anything. Like she just like sat there without us for 3 hours. And I was like, that's incredibly smart.
That's why I love Disneyland. I've only been there once, but I've been to Disney World several times. And Epcot just got more and more interesting as I was entering drinking age territory, and then now it's like, let's go to Epcot and get fucked up and then go ride an Avatar ride.
Oh god, it's so great. I remember the first time because like being a West Coast girl, like I didn't get to Disneyland. Oh, hold on, Mom says something. She said the 17 hours at Disneyland was great, even with 3 little girls under 8, but the next day was tough because everybody was so overly tired, even by myself. Yeah, I mean, it was.
I can't imagine.
Dude, they don't make moms like they used to. Like like they don't. There's so many medications and stuff that you can do these days. Like moms back in the early 80s and 90s, like dude, they were made of a different kind of material. It was tougher.
Definitely, for sure.
But I remember the first time I went to Disney World, and it was like for a friend's 25th birthday, and they worked for Disney, so like we got like discounted everything. We did like a 10-day trip, and with airfare it cost like $1,000.
Whoa!
With we're talking airfare, accommodations, food, and souvenirs. $1,000 for 10 days. It was nuts. Yeah. Oh, the good old days. But I remember when we went to Mexico in Epcot, and they have an avocado margarita. Have you had this? Like, if you go into the temple, there's a tequila bar down to the right, and they have an avocado margarita, and it is so good that I got back and I told my mom about it, and I was like, I was trying to express how much I loved it and how delicious it was. And I was like, Mom, let me put it this way. I would slap you across the face right now if I could have an avocado margarita. And she was very offended and very taken back. And I was like, look, the next time, like at my earliest convenience, I will take you and you will understand. Mm-hmm. So I took her and we're in the bar and she sips her margarita and she looks at me and she goes, I'd slap you across the face too. I was like, see, this is why you're my mother.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Aww. See, that's why you're my mommy. It's not the happiest place on earth. It's my happiest place on earth.
Yes. I remember the last time we went to Disney World, we went with some friends, and I think I forget what we were doing, but like once we got to Epcot, we were all starving. So we were like, let's go to that big buffet in Germany. And so we did, but like before we could all eat enough food, we had like half a liter, 2 liters of beer because we were like, we're in Germany. And then the rest of the day was just a giant blur.
Yeah, you just when you hit up Epcot first, that's all you're doing that day. Like that's it. There's nothing else.
We literally did go try to ride one of the Avatar rides after being completely blitzed in Epcot. And I remember it was like a 2-hour line for the Avatar ride. And we were like more than halfway through the line. And I was like, I had a beer while I was in line on top of everything else. And I was like, I have to pee so bad. And I was like, there's like, how do I even get out of here? And I like started to panic, and I found someone who worked there, and they had to like walk me through the entire back of the line and show me to like where a bathroom was, and then take me back to where I was in the spot. And I was like, I'm sorry, I had a lot of beer.
I mean, at least you peed before. Like that's.
Yeah, it was like you only peeing on your ride, right?
Yeah, no, especially with the Avatar ride, because you straddle it like a motorcycle, and you hold on, and it is tilting you every which way, and that can do damage on your bladder, especially when you're leaning forward and it's pushing. Oh, that would be awful.
Yeah, I was like, I have to pee before I ride this ride.
I remember the only time I've been on that ride, my sister's ex-husband used to work for Disney World, and so like he has a friend that he works with that like works at the ride, and so like my sister and I were just having like a sister's day at Disney World because she lives in Orlando, and it was great. And like she called up her ex-husband, well, her then husband's friend, and he literally, it was a 3.5-hour line. It had like opened maybe a month before. I'm a little sad that I didn't get to wait in the line because Disney does queues so fantastically. Like nobody does them like Disney does. Yep. But he took us, we bypassed a 3.5-hour line, and he took us through the back door, up a few staircases, down a few hallways, and then was like, okay, you two in the next group. And we were like, what just happened? And then we were on the ride, and I was like, oh, that was very fast.
That's awesome.
So Brian, love you. Oh my god, the Epcot story is epic. Yeah, dude, if you do Epcot right, well, if you do Rivers of the World right, you only remember the first 2, maybe 3 countries you visit.
Yeah, I don't even remember where we started.
And I don't know if I agree with you, Jill, because I like starting with tequila and ending with beer.
Yeah.
So like if you start with tequila and you walk in and go left to Mexico, you have tequila, and then there's Norway, and then there's sake in Japan. And that's a great progression.
Well, tequila's an upper, so that's a good way to start.
Yeah. So like it gets you amped up and it gets you all excited. So like I like walking that way. I also like walking through with the chips and guac. With my guac or with my avocado margarita because I am that white girl. I don't care. I have no shame. But it's I don't know. I always go left. I like going left. I think it's the better way because I also love ending up in the Irish pub blitzed off my balls.
Yep.
Because there is nothing. Oh, girl, we'll talk about that in a second. But there is nothing better. I actually went to get a yard because I got a yard filled at the Rose and Crown at the very beginning, and then I went around we went around the world, and I came back, and I was 4 sheets to the wind gone, and I'm waiting to get my yard refilled, and there were like just these 4 old men in the UK pub playing Irish drinking songs, and I was like, this is where I die happy. Like there's something about Irish and English drinking songs that just like have a very dear spot in my heart. And like, I don't remember how, but I spent 45 minutes in there, like singing and dancing. Like one of the guys like picked me up and was dancing me around the bar, and like there was nobody in there, and it was the best. I think I got like 3 proposals by like men over 70. It was fantastic. I absolutely love it. Okay, so guys, we are coming off. I don't want to keep Molly too late as much as we can keep talking about our love of Disney and Disney World and Disneyland. Like she does need to get to bed. I don't want to keep her too late. So
whoop. It's just me now. Oh no. We can keep talking about Disney.
I'm so sorry. I refreshed the wrong page. And I refreshed StreamYards, and they're far too close for me. As soon as I did it, I was like, shit. So
I was like, cool, this is my show now.
Yeah, for sure. So if you have any questions for us, get them in the next 5 minutes, and then we'll close out with my favorite question. I know I have failed to ask that question the last few times, but sometimes a fucking show gets away from you or you get too drunk. I don't know if you heard, but last week's show I had PJ on, and then we ended up having just like basically the PJ Campbell Network and a whole bunch of people.
Saw the time thing, and I was like, did they talk for 6 hours?
6.5 hours, to the point where I literally towards the end of it, I actually say it. I got a text from my mom who was just like listening at that point, and she's like, it has been 6.5 hours. I'm going to bed. And I'm like, oh my God, it's been 6.5 hours. It's just one of those like things that like, when you're with like people that you absolutely love and adore, like time just goes out the window. That's because she is a fucking professional. And that's why you guys have her on your show. Yeah, sorry guys. Sometimes you just press the wrong buttons. But I will say this, it has been an absolute pleasure getting to talk to you. But I will ask, because it is tomorrow, who do you have?
Ooh. So I know I've said on the POV show, I've already said it on there. So I'll just keep it. I have Jericho just because, not that I want to see Kevin Smith lose, but I would just love to see Jericho just come out with some insanely deep movie knowledge, and for Kevin Smith to just be like so impressed that it knocks him off his game a little bit.
That's fair.
But I mean, I love Kevin Smith, and I hope it's a close match. And I'm just so excited to see it, and I'm so curious on how it's going to go.
Now, do you think that Kevin is going to put his wheel slice on?
Oh, I have to assume he would. I want him to, because if he got his own slice, I would that would be amazing.
Yeah. I would, although I would love for him to put his own slice on, and then for him to have to go multiple choice and me be like, I fucking knew that one out the gate.
Exactly. That's why I want him. I almost want him to get that, because I feel like he would probably second guess himself and have to go multiple choice on some stuff.
I would just want him to have, like, if he gets his slice, I just want him to have like a 20-minute time limit because I want him to tell the story of the answer.
Yes. Oh my God.
Like Kevin knows. So the other day, when he was on SEN Live, I think it was Monday.
I watched
last
the
week,
whole thing, and I was just like,
and he mentioned that he'd seen me on Twitter, and I was like, please don't do that. That's not okay. I love you. And I was like, I will welcome you on the show anytime you want, because I will literally like ask like 4 questions and just be like totally content with having the show run like 20 hours and just sit there and listen and be like, this is the best day of my life. Yeah. But yeah, no, I know how smart Jericho is. Like, despite, like, he's had far more concussions than I have had, which is insane, and he still has that knowledge, which makes me feel like shit, because I'm like, I don't know as much as you. But I would love, like, his interview today on SEN Live was really fun, but I'm like, I have questions for him. Like, I was like texting Christian, I was like, ask him about this. But yeah, I would love to get either of them on the show, but I would also love to face either of them, because I think that would be great. Because Jericho said something about how he's a big Kevin Smith fan, and I was like, oh. I would love to have a Kevin Smith off against Jericho with Kevin Smith at the table. Like, that sounds like fun.
I was rooting for them to have you on as like a co-host for this match, like since it was announced.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people that are saying that, but like, I'm like, look, guys, this is the biggest match the Schmodown has ever had. I've never been at the table. They know I'm a fan of both of them, but and while they know I wouldn't like necessarily fangirl out on camera, like, this is something that Christian and Ellis have created from the ground up, and like, this is their moment. Like, this is something that they should take amazing pride in and be incredibly proud of. Like, I am so, like, it's weird to say that I'm proud of them for that, but like, I also am a part of it, which is weird, and I'm just like, this is something that I'm so excited to be a part of. And I mean, Kevin Smith knows my fucking name at this point. Like, like, they sent my matches to him where I had his categories, and I'm just like, what is my life at this point? So yeah, so I'm very excited. I don't even care if it's a good match. I just want it to be like entertaining. Like, I don't care if it's close. All I know is that these are 2 men that are part of something that I've loved my entire life, in separate entities. And it's one of those things that I'm so excited. Like, I don't even know if I can be sober tomorrow, like, at all. Like, the instant I wake up, I don't know if I can do it. I'm just gonna be so excited and just like running around the house, like vibrating.
When I was watching him on SEN, and they got to the part where like Christian was just talking about how proud he was of this thing that he's created, and he was telling the story of selling out the theater in Chicago, and he brought up Alex, and he mentioned Star Wars Explained, and I was like watching downstairs, and I was like, wait, he said, and I like paused it, and I like ran upstairs, and I was like, Alex, Kevin Smith might know who you are.
Yeah,
you might not remember, but he heard your name.
They're talking about you. I mean, to be fair, like a few days before Kevin Smith's interview on SEN, it was his 50th birthday, and he did this thing where he was answering 50 questions for his 50th birthday, and it was like $10 to like watch and like participate, and you got to like submit a question. And so I was like, obviously, I was like, oh, here's my $10 for like the opportunity, and there was like 400 people watching, so it was like, you know, like a 1 in 4, like 1 in 5 chance of like getting pulled up, or 1 in 10, because I can math. And I remember they took a break after 25, and right as they were coming back from a break, I like resubmitted my question, and then like on the corner, like a little like message thing popped up and was like, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "No." And then it was like video, and I got to talk to him. Like, you had like 4 minutes to talk to him and ask as many questions as you could, and like all this. And I like legit told him he was like, he like looked at me and he's like, have we met? And I was like, yeah, I yelled something incredibly inappropriate at you in Vancouver when you were filming Supergirl. And he was like, oh yeah, I remember that day we were doing externals. And I was like, yeah, and you brought us and we were like Timbits. And I was like, I'm having a moment with Kevin Smith about a moment that I had with Kevin Smith. This is so meta. Like, it was ridiculous. And we talked about Schmodown and like his upcoming movies with all of Jericho stuff. And it was just like this amazing moment. And then a few days later, he's being interviewed by Christian and he's like, oh yeah, I know that girl. And I'm like, I'm like, I need my skin not to exist so I can just float around and like geek out all over the universe.
Yes.
Oh, are you doing a live watch along?
Are we?
I don't know if it's being viewed. Like, Jill messaged me because I don't know if everybody wants to like just see me cry for 2 hours because like in anticipation of that match, I'm just gonna like be like weeping in excitement through the Guy Bateman match and probably not paying attention. But
I'm totally down to be in on that.
Yeah, you're like, no, I want to watch you cry. That sounds like fun. All right, guys, I'm doing one last check of Streamlabs. And it looks like we're good. So I'm going to end this with my favorite question from one of my favorite movies, which is Almost Famous. It's the very last question that William asks at the end. And it is, do you have to be happy to write a love song? Do you have to be sad to write a sad song? What is it that you love about movies? Or music, I'm sorry. What is it you love about music?
Oh man, music has quite literally gotten me through some insanely tough times in my life. And there'll be certain songs sang by certain people that like, it's not a happy song, it's not a sad song. Just hearing someone singing a certain way will make me cry. And it's just like, I'm like, how do people have voices that can sing like this? Like Disney songs, especially, hearing stuff like that, like the Frozen songs, I just like tears just come out of my face when I hear singing like that, and I don't understand why. There's so much power behind music, man. And like I said, like music was my life in high school. I still live every day just like thinking about music and usually listening to a lot of the same stuff. Like I'll find an album that I'm really into and just listen to it every day for like a month. And yeah, it's gotten me through a lot of tough times, and it brings you up, it brings you down. If you want to be down, you could be down. If you want to be happy, you can put on something to make you happy. And yeah, it's just the best.
I love that. I honestly, like, every time I ask that question, I get a completely different answer, and it makes me so happy. So I just have to say thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Everybody in the chat, you guys are the best. Next week is, as I've already shown, oh, shoot, sorry, wrong button. Next week, I have the most incredible Winston Marshall is coming on. I don't know what time yet, so stay tuned. Have yet to get a confirmation from him for what time, because, you know, things get a little weird around tournament season.
He's a busy guy.
He's a very busy guy, but I just want to say thank you so much. Go ahead and tell the kids where they can find you and what's coming up and what you're doing and how to support you, because you deserve all the support in the world.
Aw. Well, my stuff's down here. Yeah, at Mollie Damon on Twitter, at Molly Mander on Instagram, and me and Alex are on YouTube at Star Wars Explained. We have videos coming out every single day about Star Wars stuff. And we also both just started Twitch channels. So I'm at Mollie Damon on Twitch, and he's at Alex Damon Live on Twitch. And Twitch is a fun new playground for me because I don't play video games that often, and when I do, I get really mad and angry, and I curse a lot, and I yell really loud, which is not my normal way of being. So yeah, Twitch has been pretty interesting. So catch us on Twitch if you want to see us both getting really angry about stupid stuff.
I don't know what that means, but I feel like everybody else does.
We've been playing a lot of Fall Guys, and we have decided that the pigeons are the worst.
Yeah, I'm far too competitive to like play those games because I just erupt into a rage. Like I turn into anger from inside out and just explode.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys
That's
are the
been
best.
me so far.
And also, guys, certain point of view. I don't know what the schedule is because my brain is fried. Dude, there's so much to promote. So like, yeah, guys, check out the channel.
On Certain Point of View, our normal show is every Sunday night. A certain point of view on YouTube, and then we're doing reactions for every match, whether or not we can all be there. So pretty much every night there's been a match. So,
yeah, there's definitely a singles match every day. So you guys are super busy. And then you can find me here, Instagram, Twitter, everything is up there. Join the Patreon that's up there. It's so much fun. We're adding new things coming in November because I need to iron some things out. But we have our Golden Day on Sunday at 4 p.m. It's the last Sunday of every month. We just like hang out. I send everybody a link and we just, chill out and talk about things that are on our mind and conspiracy theories within the Schmodown. And I think that it's going to be very busy this Saturday because I don't think I'm going on any reaction shows for the Smith Jericho thing. So it might be like the first place that you find me not crying, maybe still crying, talking about the match. But we'll see what happens. You guys are the best. And we will see you next week with Winston. Molly, again, thank you so much. You are the absolute best. And now we get to do my favorite part of the show. It's the awkward dance-off.